Hi everyone, Mint Morris here. Welcome to this short mini lesson on if Don Rich had played the solo on Working Man Blues. This lesson is a continuation in a discussion I began in my previous lesson. If you haven't watched that, please check it out. We've been talking about the importance of learning original licks. So when we listen to modern players and hear phrases that we like, to go back and learn where they took those ideas from, to really understand their original context, to see if other players are using those ideas as well, and then how they can be put into new context within tunes. So another aspect of that, which when I began lessons years ago with Redd Volkaert, he really recommended that as I learn different players' vocabulary, to work on crafting solos, entire solos, in the style of those players as a kind of tribute or tip of the hat to them. Now, this helps in a couple different ways. One, it gives you a sense of how they're seeing the fretboard, so you're learning through the eyes of another player. It helps you develop your own sense of vocabulary. It gives you a wider vocabulary to pull from. And when you're gigging and playing 2-3 hour, maybe even 4 hour sets as a country or swing blues player, it gives you enough playing material to last the entire night. So that's really nice, and it keeps you interested. So rather than taking a solo on a tune and throwing everything you know from across 30 years of different country guitarists and swing guitarists, you can kind of classify your solos by different players that you like. And maybe the guitarists in the crowd who are watching your people in the band find that amusing and enjoy that. So it's something that can sustain you the entire night. And then as you just become more and more familiar with that vocabulary and being in the head, as it were, of those different players, you can start mixing and matching them. And hopefully, while we want our playing to be a tribute to other players, it will become so where it sounds consistent and whole and not just he's playing a Danny Gatton lick here, he's playing a Les Paul lick here, he's playing a Barney Kessel lick here, he's playing a Roy Nichols lick here. So all of this has been in promotion for a new course that I just released called A Working Man's Blues, Merle Haggard's Guitarists Throughout the Years. This course looks at 4 of Merle's guitarists, starting with James Burton, then going on to Roy Nichols, Clint Strong, and Redd Volkaert. I demonstrate their solos on a couple of blues, some working mans, and then one honky-tonk nighttime man, and how they take ideas from their influences and from the previous players' takes on these tunes and incorporate them into their own solo and then develop them further. So this is kind of a focused study on what we've been talking about in this lesson and the previous lesson. So if you want to see how that really works, please consider checking out that course. The link will be in the description below. Now in this one, I would like just to show you how I might approach playing Working Man with a Don Rich take. So as far as I'm aware, and if you know otherwise, please put it in the comments, I do not believe that Don Rich ever did a solo on Working Man Blues. So that would be really interesting if someone could show otherwise. But if we're playing this, first off, I want to kind of start thinking how Don Rich thinks. So Don Rich thinks in pentatonics, a lot of minor pentatonics working out of just basic open cowboy chord shapes. So on this intro here, I played a phrase quoting the melody. So first off, you have to know the melody of Working Man, which James Burton's original solo captures nicely. So I have here in my A chord open position, just a little mimicking of the melody. Just working from my flat 7 and my minor 3rd with a slight bend. That's really that sound. And then I'm going to work up the minor pentatonics with an added flat 5th. Back down to my flat 7 to set up the 4 chord. So that's something that you'll hear him play, and even that rhythmic kind of drag is something that's stylistic of him. So just working up A, C, D, D sharp, E, G, A, then C, D. You have your minor pentatonics there, so you can bend that D, grab the G, and then if you want to introduce that flat 7 to set up the 4 chord. Now, my next chord is the D, the 4. So I'm taking this open A chord here and just moving it up to the 5th fret. And I'm working up to it from the flat 3rd of A, the C. So I'm playing one of those stock Don Rich ideas where we're going to be playing from the 1, 5, and flat 7. So we have ideas like this. And then I'm going to expand on that and use the harmony with the double stops. So I'm building up my solo, and now I'm in this A position here, my just minor pentatonics. So something that you'll hear Don Rich do, he'll play an open 5th string in this case, and then he'll bend the 4 of A, the D, up to an E, and then grab this high A, and then work right down the pentatonic. So we have a lick that's like this. Some kind of style like that, filling up that A chord, and then I'm just going to work right up to my E chord here. I'm visualizing it, but this time I'm going to do a step up. So that's something, again, stylistic if it's playing just these bass note walk-ups. But instead of going, which you could do, that would be cool, I'm going to take a more minor approach and play. So I've got this almost Jimi Hendrix chord here without the 4th string. It's an E, D, and G, the minor 3rd. And I'm going to take this double stop, it's a 4th double stop, D and G, and move it up, and then bring it back down. So I have slide up to the E and G, back down to my blues box, and then resolve into my D chord. Some way there. And then I'm just going to play a nice minor pentatonic line all the way down. With that stylistic 1 to the flat 7, pull off 5 to 4 as a triplet, and then resolve. So that's how I would begin approaching a take on Working Man Blues or another solo, where I'm thinking of a player and trying to stay as consistent to that player's style. It's a good test to see if you can do that across several solos during a set, because then that means you have some freedom within their vocabulary, you understand it and can apply it across multiple contexts. That's really where I started to see my playing increase and become maybe more thoughtful as I got into the head of these other players and then tried to craft solos that were tributes to them. I really got a good understanding of the fretboard through that. So again, if you're interested, please check out my latest course. The link will be in the description below where you can get even a better sense of this. And if you're interested in learning some more Don Rich, I do have a Don Rich course as well. The link will be in the description below. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next lesson.